Welcome back. I'm Randy Bueller here with Brian David Marshall. The players are finishing up building their decks. We just watched the draft. We just watched the deck build. Brian and I were there. We were talking to them. What do you think?
Man, there are some good decks.
Yeah?
Everybody seemed really excited about their decks, except for Willie Adel.
Yeah, I was not impressed by Billy's deck.
Neither was he. He was green-blue. He got picks out of Planar Chaos that he can play, and two of them are a splash.
So
Sorry
start over.
that. I said that everyone was really excited about their decks, except for Willie Adel.
Yeah, I didn't like Willie's deck either.
Willie had 4 picks out of Planar Chaos. 2 of them are splashes in white for White Mane Lion, which doesn't even seem terribly exciting. They're his only 2-drop.
Wow.
Obviously, they're not a 2-drop.
Was he getting cut by Hron? Is that how this worked out?
Well, Mike Rohn ended up being green.
Yeah, he took first. I mean, he was green the whole time. We actually just misunderstood. He busted a Spectral Force.
Yes.
So first pick Spectral Force. He's the guy that took the Tromp the Domains. He's the guy that got the.
He got Stonebrow.
Nice.
He's got a Deadwood Tree Folk.
Yep.
He was a little confused as to the quality of his deck when I talked to him.
Okay.
He said,
he doesn't draft green.
I've never drafted green.
Right.
My card evaluation.
I was talking to Brian Kowal between the break, who was watching. He's like, well, because he saw me go back, and he was like, oh, how's Atron's deck? I'm like, it's pretty good to me. It's green. It's like, green?
Yeah,
he never drafts green.
He said my card evaluations could be wildly off. I've never drafted green. I don't know. I'm like, well, if you've never been green, what made you go green? And he's like,
Spectral Force.
Process of elimination.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the color
what
that
did his
was
pack?
open to him.
I mean, he did first pick green. He first picked the Spectral Force. Let me see if I can find his pack. Where?
But so he's green-black.
Oh, he first picked Spectral Force out of the second pack. My bad.
He's
first pack. He took probably Sudden Shock. Yeah, I think he took Sudden Shock first, and then I guess he figured out the green was open.
Yeah.
Oh, so that actually is.
He was looking to go green-red. He said, or black-red. I guess he was looking to go maybe. But
so when Kenji was shipping those green cards, if Kenji had moved in faster,
yes,
he would have been much better paid off. He might have got shipped Spectral Force, but because Kenji let the green slip and didn't move in until about pack 5, that sounds like that was the difference. Right. That was long enough that Atron got a read that green was open, moved in, got paid off because he got the Spectral Force, and then he got shipped Tromp the Domains.
Right, and he's green-black. He's touching red for the Tromp the Domains, obviously.
Yep.
He's got a Strangling Soot that he can flash
That's funny
back.
That you touch red for Tromp the Domains.
He's got a Strangling Soot that he can splash back.
Sure.
And he's got a black, the Guild Mage, Shadow Guild Mage,
that
he can activate.
That makes sense.
And he has Stonebrow.
So pretty solid green-black, touch red.
Yeah, his deck looks...
it looked good.
His deck looks terrific. Irvin Tormos is blue-white.
Yep.
And
mostly white.
White. He's
got the Rebel
Sun
Chain,
Lances.
Right? 2 Sun Lances.
He's got Salt Blast.
2 Amru Scouts with a couple of Seekers to go get with him.
He's got Krovax.
Yes.
Krovax, Ascendant Hero.
Yeah, I looked. He was like, that was a pretty good crack, wasn't it? that was his first pick out of Planar Chaos.
It's certainly one of the. I mean, if you can play him,
yeah,
he's awesome. He's a dream open.
I actually think he might be the best rare in the set.
Yeah, yeah. We talked about Willie Adel. Willie's green-blue, splashing white. His deck is so bad. In his own words, he has 4 Planar Chaos cards, like we said.
So I was looking for the fate of the Tysuses as I went back there.
Well, 2 of them are in Marine Leber's deck.
And the other 3 are in Takuya Osawa's deck. Yeah. Although I think he's going to put one on the sideboard.
He's running 3.
Oh, he put all 3?
I was out there just now.
Yeah, he was debating. Okay.
Yeah, the third one is in.
So that's really funny if you think about it. Those guys sat next to each other in the draft, right? Lebert fed Usawa. Lebert opened up his first pack, and he first picked a Dragon Whelp. So he shipped Tysus over to Usawa. He took first pick Dragon Whelp, ships a Tysus. Usawa moves in for second pick Tysus. But then Lebert, I guess, he got shipped one. He winds up with, Lebert, like I said, Lebert wound up with 2. Well, he opened one in the second pack.
Lebert's deck looks terrific.
It does.
He's Black-Red Madness.
Yep.
He's got 2 Dark Witherings, 2 Tysus. He's got a minor sliver theme with the Sedge Sliver that we saw going around.
You know what pick he got that? 8th.
Wow. Yeah,
he was very happy.
He was very happy. He said that was a huge gift.
Wow. Yeah.
His deck looks terrific. Mm-hmm. It's capable of beating down. It's capable of winning a long game.
Right.
It's capable of just ripping a win off the top of his deck with a Tysus.
Right.
His deck seems really exciting.
Maybe he gets to Tysus the Spectral Force. That's the matchup in the quarterfinals. It's Atron versus Lebert.
Okay.
So 2 Tysus versus a guy with Spectral Force.
Another guy who is not thrilled with his deck is Shingu. I mean,
Okay.
he likes his deck. He called it a B, B+.
Okay.
He's blue-white slivers.
Okay.
He called it a B+. He's got, like, multiple sinew slivers, multiple watcher slivers.
Okay.
He's facing off against
Tormos. So it's
who's
white.
got all the situational white removal, the sort of white dark banishing.
Oh, those sun lances are not good against Kurihara. That's actually really unfortunate for Tormos. Double sun lance looks ridiculous, and he's got the assault blast one as well.
Right, absolutely.
So 3 different cards that just don't work.
They're not
against...
completely dead. There are some blue cards, but I mean, the bulk of his
much less interesting.
bulk of his creatures are white, and but Irvin is sort of semi-prepared. He said he has a green package ready to bring in if
really?
If he needs to.
Okay.
He's got a green package of cards ready to go.
Every time I walked over to Irvin, he was just trying. He was looking. He's like, "Is Trickbind good? Am I supposed to play Trickbind? This thing could be the nuts. I have no idea."
Did you explain to him that we're in the booth and he's in the top 8?
I tried that. No, I'm like, I wouldn't be allowed to answer even if I had an opinion on the subject. No, tell me. Is it good? I need to know. I have no idea. Tell me. He's good times.
It's a 50-50 chance that he did that just so we talk about him more in the booth.
I've played into his hands.
Osawa's deck, he has looked absolutely terrific.
It did.
It looked absolutely terrific.
100% agree.
2 Corpulent Corpse, 2 Errant Ephemerons.
Yes.
Plenty of good creatures in both
3
colors
Tysus.
all along the curve. 3 Tysus at the top. He should win a long game. Can win, come out of the gate really fast and win an early game too.
I mean, he could potentially get, I thought, overwhelmed in the early because all of his 1-drops and 2-drops are just to suspend guys, which is sort of fine, but he actually doesn't, I don't think he has a creature he can play until 3. Sure. It's like a prismatic lens is the only thing that actually hits the board on the first couple of turns. But if this format is as slow as we think it is, I'm not sure that matters.
He's playing against Jim Harold, who definitely has one of the slow decks.
He's red-blue.
He's red-blue. He's got a lot of exciting cards. You didn't seem to like his deck as much as I did.
Oh, I think you're biased because you just love red-blue.
I love red-blue.
I thought
so
it was
much.
fine, but I thought it was kind of like, that's what a red-blue deck looks like. It's kind of Shaper Parasite.
He got past a Draining Welk. He got past a Sulphurous Blast.
That's pretty good.
He has a Bogart and Hellkite. He has all the Storm components for a Empty the Warrens plan.
Okay.
He's got 2 Erratic Mutations, but one's in his sideboard right now.
Really?
Because he's playing Ancestral Memories and Lotus Bloom. To sort of, because he's got such expensive cards, and because he wants to have cards in hand for a number of things, including
Lotus Bloom into Hellkite's pretty exciting.
Lotus Bloom into
It's like a constructed play. Isn't that how Mahara won Worlds?
He's capable of some really exciting, but again, he's going against 3 Tysus. So there's an interesting game there that's going to be, do I Draining Welk your suspended Tysus? Do you know to hold your Tysus back?
Huh.
I think we could see some real stare downs in that matchup.
Okay.
But
both those decks look good.
Olivier was looking at his deck, and Olivier's doing on the French coverage side,
right?
And he said he thought Harold had the best deck in the top 8.
Wow, it looked good. Maybe Harold versus Usawa was a couple of really good decks. We'll definitely get an eye on that matchup.
Did you get a chance to talk to Kenji at all?
I talked to Kenji a little bit. He seemed confident. He was like, "Is this deck good?" And he's like, "Yeah."
He liked this deck a lot. I mean, it's hard to feel bad about having 2 Firemaw Kavus. He briefly looked like he was going to play the Wild Pair, but then he realized the only thing he could do off the Wild Pair that was exciting was Firemaw Kavu into Firemaw Kavu. And
that's a win more strategy.
Yeah. That seemed to be his conclusion as well. He put it back in the sideboard.
It's still, I mean, even Nantuko Shaman into Nantuko Shaman or
sure.
2/2.
Nantuko Shaman into Nantuko Shaman draw a card, is pretty exciting. He was almost going to play a Plains in his deck just for Thrill of the Hunt.
Oh, okay.
And for Tribal Flames to some smaller extent.
Sure.
Sort of the same kind of philosophy as Splashing Red for Trump. Last I looked, he was worried about the double green and the Nantuko Shaman suspends and a couple of other double greens, and decided that the white was coming at the expense of a forest. And he just wasn't willing to do that. I think he thinks his deck is too good to get cute.
Yeah, he's got Megas in the library, too. Double green on turn 2.
His deck is too good to get cute. So harmonize, etc. So, yeah.
Sounds right.
So he didn't do it.
Yeah, Kenji plays Willie Edel. Edel, the worst deck at the table? Is that what I hear you saying?
I think Edel has the worst deck at the table for sure.
Wow.
He's got this gaping hole in his deck. His deck seems all piled up on 4, 5, and 6. It seems very slow. It seems like it could get very clumsy draws. If he stumbles on mana at all, he's got no plays.
It's not good.
I mean, he's got a couple of suspend cards, but he seems susceptible to a fast draw.
No, I can see Kenji and Willie sitting down at the table. They are rolling the die to see who's going to go first, shuffling up. We'll certainly are mere moments away from the quarterfinals of Pro Tour Geneva. Sounds like you've got Kenji through in that quarterfinal.
I've certainly got Kenji through.
And then if Kenji does win, he plays the winner of Atron versus Leibert.
So who do I pick in Atron versus Leibert? That's really interesting. I think Leibert's deck has the edge. He just seemed to have too many good cards, too many synergies. Atron can just take a couple games with Trump and with Stonebrow and Spectral Force. Boy, it's really tough. I think it's going to go 5.
Okay.
But I think it's going to be Leibert. I think being able to madness out his Dark Banishings and to just have the regenerating slivers and
having that much removal makes Trump less effective.
And the Tysuses will be really big because
Atron's
guys are really big.
Yeah.
Take 7 off of your Stonebrow, take 16 off of your Spectral Force.
I think I agree with you. Slight edge to Leibert there. Also partially because if Atron hasn't played that much green, it's going to be hard for him to get all the subtleties. If he's just it sounds like he read the draft really well. I mean, it sounds like
Brian Colwell's shaking his head.
Correct for him to move into green.
He's like, don't doubt Atron.
We'll see.
Shingo and Tormos I pick for the longest match.
Okay.
It's just going to go really long. I mean,
white versus white.
White blue versus white blue. I don't know how that plays out. I think that's a coin toss. I think Shingo might have the edge just on less dead cards.
Yep.
He has fewer dead cards. And
Shingo's deck didn't look as good though.
Hey, you know what?
Oh wow! Looks like they're just about ready.
Looked like he had a lot of synergy. Who do you pick in Harold Usawa real quick?
Usawa.
Why? Because he's Usawa?
Because he's Usawa. I'll pick the player. You want to pick the deck? I'm going
to pick the deck. I'm going to stand up for blue-red.
All right. Well, we will get you coverage of those quarterfinals. It looks like that Kenji and Willie are ready to go. So we will be back momentarily with coverage of the quarterfinals of Pro Tour Geneva. Hello and welcome to Pro Tour Geneva. I'm Randy Bueller. I'm here with Brian David Marshall, and we are ready for the quarterfinals. I like that piece of the set. The Mock Sapphire looking down over the quarterfinal match. We watched these guys draft their decks. We checked on the build. And now here we have a battle of the Titans. Willie Edel versus Kenji Samura. Two guys just at the height of their powers playing awesome Magic. Kenji just is in top 8 number 5. Willie Edel is in top 8 number 3 out of the last 4 events. Just awesome resumes, awesome players. And
we're also seeing a little Nikolai Anton redux here. Both of these players were in the top 8 of Kobe.
Absolutely true.
So these guys are both going back-to-back top 8s in limited Pro Tours.
Yeah, and Kenji set that as a goal for himself last year. I want to get good at limited, and he did. So suspending a Duskwasp for Kenji, suspending a Search for Tomorrow for Willie. Turn 2, must not have had the Forest on the first turn.
We have some deck lists here.
Awesome. So Kenji drafted a green-red deck. He started out with a first pick, Firemaw Kavu, so very happy there. Then he dipped his toe into black. He went with 3 black cards before realizing, quality of the black cards I'm getting just isn't good enough, and then these green cards coming through. So he read the red-green as underdrafted on his right, moved in, and then he got totally paid off. The green kept coming, and then in Player Chaos, the green kept coming, because it turned out there were 3 open seats in green. There was nobody else in green, and so he got all the way to the exact opposite side of the table, and Willie Edel. Now, Edel was in green. He wound up with a green-blue deck. The card quality doesn't look quite as good. Mike Atron moved into green on Willie's right. That really hurt him. And we'll see. Kenji looks like the winner on paper, but we'll have to see how the match plays out.
Got a couple suspends right away from Kenji. We took a little heat in the forums. We were talking about how Duskwasp doesn't have suspend. I mean, and it's pretty fine to suspend it on turn 2.
Sure.
But later in the game, you just never want to suspend it. You see people doing that, and that's what we were really talking about. You might want to hold on to it to play on turn 5 if you think you're going to have to block.
Sure.
You know, against a really fast deck, you might not want it to come into play and just attack. But
Kenji got to suspend the Nantuko Shaman, too.
This is what we were talking about.
Yeah, look at this format. By the way, it's turn 5. There's no creatures in play yet. Right? The
Nantuko got a morph.
Oh, that was a morph. All right.
Ooh, no card for Kenji.
Cute.
Coral Trickster taps a land during Kenji's upkeep. Slows him down, keeps him off a card.
It's a good play.
Edel's like, I'll take 3 from the Shaman. You just can't have a card.
Its format has really slowed down since TTT. Planar Chaos just added more removal, didn't add that much aggression. Now players are just, their decks have just become late game decks.
Well, then we should really be looking at Jim Harold. I mean, he's got the ultimate late game deck with
Bogarted, Hellkite.
Hellkite and Draining Well.
Edel plays a Spiketail Drakeling.
Spiketail Drakeling, but does not attack with the Coral Trickster. He's going to trade with the Shaman. That's what he's
Sounds
looking
like
for.
the plan.
Or he's going to put damage on the stack and send it back to his hand with a white main lion.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Edel does have the planes. He is splashing a white just for a couple of white main lions. Kind of an interesting decision, but he was scrambling for playables and scrambling for...
He drafted those cards, actually.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he didn't even draft them with an intention towards playing them.
So what Kenji plays...
I can't see what that... Oh, I think that was a Wood Readers, it looks like. Sentinel Wood Readers.
And he got baited into the Spiketail Drakeling.
That drew the Drakeling. That wasn't a Searcher Tomorrow. That was a Dirkwood Bailoff we saw earlier. Getting a little glare off the sleeves. It's a little hard for us to see some of the cards.
Oh, wow. Mike Atron on a back table just made turn 5 Spectral Force against Marin Lebert. Now the interesting part is, do we hear a turn 7 Tysus story?
Turn 7 Tysus might not be enough time. He'll have taken 16 by then.
Firemaw Kavu.
And this is what... this is really the difference in Kenji's deck.
Oh, and there's the White Main Lion. Willie is able to save his Coral Trickster. You know what? You know what's better than turn 5 Spectral Force?
No, I have no idea.
Turn 6 Tromp the Domains.
Oh my gosh.
For the win. Mike Atron in 17 seconds takes the first quarterfinal match from Marin Lebert.
That's like Devin Hester on the kickoff for the Chicago Bears.
That's exactly
in the Super
what
Bowl.
that was.
Brian Kowal thrusts a finger into the air.
I'm not. You know, the Bears didn't actually win that game, though.
I mean, I know.
All right, so the board right now, Willie Edel has a Dirkwood Bailoff and a White Main Lion. Kenji Samura has a Fireball Kavu, a Nantuko Shaman, and a giant Dusk Wasp.
But it's been Utopia
Vowed.
The Dusk Wasp, yeah.
So the 3-3 Flyer has been shut down by Edel. Kenji is
he's paying the upkeep.
Paying the Echo on the Kavu. It's interesting. I might have just tried to take out the Bailoff there.
But it's only going to do 4.
No, Bailoff is 5. Never mind.
He is trying to take out the Bailoff, but he wants
Needs
it to
a little
be
more
in combat. Kenji did end up playing his planes, by the way.
All right.
So he has flashback on his Throne of the Hunt.
Rada, Heir to Keld. Turn 8, right on schedule. Who do you like in the late game between these two decks?
Look at Willie. I mean, Willie's got some card advantage late in the game with Deadwood Treefolk, but he just doesn't have a lot to punch through. I mean, he's got the 2 Bailoffs. He's got a Psionic Blast. I guess what it could come down to is the Yavimaya Dryad, but it seems like Kenji should have little trouble killing that.
Another morph from Edel.
He's got a Parasite, Pilfer. We've seen the Trickster already. he's also got a Slipstream Serpent and a Fathom Seer.
Kenji goes for Orcish Cannonade, pointing at a morph.
Hoping it's not the Fathom Seer here.
Because that'll have a Fathom Seer?
Edel does have a Fathom Seer.
Looks like he got the Trickster.
Fathom Seer was potentially could have been the first pick for Jim Harold, actually. He took a Outrider and Core over it, feeling like he had a read that the table was not into white very much, and that white would be open. And then promptly moved into blue. It just was obvious to him that
interesting.
It wasn't, that white was going to be closed off to him.
Herdnar.
I mean, Deadwood Treefolk White Main Line can be really, really exciting. You might even be able to keep that going for a while. Kill your White Main Lion, turn your Deadwood Treefolk. Now, what ways does Kenji really have to punch through here?
I mean, he had the Dusk Wasp in theory. What has been Utopia about? Any enchantment removal?
Let's see. Well, not main deck. He has a Dead Gone to bounce something. Yeah,
I mean, he's got enough card advantage that he can potentially just overwhelm him, right?
I think so, but he doesn't have a way to punch through other than one strength. He has one strength in numbers.
Okay.
So, I mean, it almost feels like this match is going to come down to that one card.
Interesting.
These guys are gonna lock up the ground. Right? We're just gonna get bogged down here. Look.
Well, he does have
an overwhelming creature board right now. Taking a look at Adel's deck again. Phantom Worm could be a little bit of a problem for Kenji. Especially, it's another great. Actually, the White Mane Lions are looking better and better in Edel's deck.
You think?
When you look at something like Phantom Worm, which he can send in to get card advantage or just a lot of damage through.
Right.
And the only real way for Kenji to deal with Phantom Worm is to spend 3 cards on it. Right? He doesn't have a banishing.
And then White Mane Lion
White Mane Lion comes and saves it and starts it all over again. He's also got the Shape of Parasite.
Right.
He's got the Deadwood Treefolk. So, I mean, we talk about the card advantage in Kenji's deck, but in a long game, there might be more card advantage in Willie's deck. Now the issue, again, the same issue happens with Willie, though, is he also has one strength in numbers as his way to punch through. So I'm looking for, not a lot of flying going on here. Not a lot of trampling going on. I mean, Kenji's really got to... Is Kenji holding on to cards? Is he trying to build up in case he gets his Magus going?
How interesting. That's how we make it to the library. Taps 6. Taps 4. Scarwood Treefolk.
Sends in a 4/4.
It looks like it's time to start attacking.
I mean, these are 2 players. We talked about 2 players at the height of their powers here. Who has the edge when it comes down to an even board? I mean, who do we think the better player is?
You got to pick Kenji on